Hello and welcome to Liberty Ledger. I am your host, Chad, and just like everyone else on the planet, I want to start a YouTube channel and quit working. But I've found out very quickly it's actually kind of like work. And also, I'm very well funded, as you can see by the setup, the fan in the background. This is a very high class studio. Anyway, there's been just a lot of there's so much information flying around the world now. It's kind of hard to keep up with, and I really hope starting this channel, maybe we can dive into some current events, some history, and instead of going with headline grabbing spins, maybe actually look at the information that we have. The numbers don't lie. People can lie every day, but numbers don't. But yeah, kind of what I was looking at. I just started putting together information on cost of living, right? Because I've heard it both ways. I've heard the younger generation saying, oh, it's terrible, cost of living is terrible, we can't get ahead, terrible, terrible, terrible. Then you hear from older people. They kind of take two sides of it. One subset is these poor people, these poor younger kids. They really can't do it, that kind of thing. Or get to work, stop crying. And I know just, I graduated college, I had a little bit of debt, not a lot of debt, and I went to buy my first house after I had a steady job, good paying job, I would say. And yeah, you find out that in most places, an acre of land and a shack is $250,000, and that's very interesting. So I wanted to find out if is it real? Like, is it did costs really go up? But I want to sit and go through a lot in this video. I don't know. Maybe it could become two videos. Obviously I've never done this before, so any criticism, feedback, you can call me names in the comment section. It's fine. I don't really care. But yeah. And also apologies for the little bit of background noise. My computer is much louder than I thought. So may have to swap some stuff up and get an actual mic. But anyway, I wanted to compare 1980s to now. That was the idea behind this video. And from demographic shifts to economics and housing trends, education, employment, I just kind of wanted to go through the whole gamut. But we're also being very surface level. There could be a lot. There already are deeper dives on this, obviously, but I want to hear myself talk too. Um, so just starting with demographic shifts, 80 to 25, 1980 to 2025, we had quite a population growth. We went from 227 million to 343.6 million. What I don't have that I wish I had is how much of that was immigration, specifically the illegal immigration that occurred in the last administration. But for now, we'll leave that alone and move forward. The median age of the population has shifted from 30 years old in 1980 to 38.5. I thought that was pretty interesting. That was something I didn't know previously. Something else that's really been a topic lately. You've heard it, I think, probably more in conservative circles, but maybe the left has talked about it a bit. I'm not really sure. Um, the population growth rate in 1980, we were at 1% growth rate per year. Now we're at 0.5% per year. And you can say, well, hey, we've got a higher population. Maybe you don't want the same growth rate. But I'm not sure. Let's just keep going, see where we get to. Apologies, my camera. Again, never done this. My camera's up here. I keep not looking at it. But let's look at the population under 15. We have 22.6% under 15 back in 1980. Now it's 18%. So there are fewer children. Percentage of population over 65. It was 11.3% in 1980. Now it's 17%. So getting older. 1 in 6 Americans is now over 65. So is that a testament to healthcare, or are we just aging out? The racial and ethnic diversity. This is a bit interesting. It's not like radical, but we went from 80% white in 1980. I didn't know it was that high, so I guess there is some good information here. 11.5% black, 6.5% Latino, 1.8% Asian. That was in 1980. Now, 2025, we're 58% white, 13.7% black, 19.6% Latino, 6.7% Asian. So, the Latino and Asian groups were the highest growers. And blacks went up 2.2%. Latinos went up 13.1%, and Asians went up, oh gosh, math, just roughly 4%, 3.9%. So yeah, there's and again, I haven't done any research into the difference of birth versus immigration and where that falls into this. But when we look at our birth rate per 1,000 people in 1980, it was 15.9. Now it's 12. And we're actually below the replacement level. I have that research somewhere. I think we went under replacement level in 2007. No, excuse me, 1980. So the replacement level is 2.1. So even in 1980, we were already below that, and it has continued to go further below. This is the next stat that really just jumped out to me, and I think there's so many cultural, societal, political conversations you can have about this, is the average age of a mother at first birth. It used to be 22.7 years old. Now it's 27.9%. Not percent. 27.9 years old. So 22.7 in 1980, 27.9 currently. First-time moms are 5 years older. I mean, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? These are the questions that I really want to ask. And the average age of all mothers at birth, it was 24.7 in 1980. Now it's 30.1 years old. Again, I don't know. I don't think a declining birth rate's a good thing. I know that. I know we can go off on tangents into our health systems, our food systems, etc. But again, this video is really just kind of throwing the information out there, seeing what kind of feedback I get, seeing what direction we go from here. Let's see, what's next? So then we look at economic and housing trends. Man, I go back, I know I've already said it, but I was shocked when I first started shopping for a house. I had a good job, still have a good job. Well-paying, overall. And, I mean, how much does it cost now? Truly think about what the American dream tells you, what it did tell you. And maybe 1980, I'm using that as kind of the goalpost here. What does a 2-story, 2,000 square foot house with a garage and 2 brand new cars sitting in it cost now? I mean, you're talking monthly expenditures, loans that I'm reaching, but let's just say $4,000 for the house. That's probably being generous. And I'm probably lowballing, but let's say that. And then 2 cars, call it $700 a month a piece. Again, might even be a little low if you want a big SUV and a nice truck. So, I think best case scenario, and we haven't even talked about insurance, right? But let's just go best case scenario. You're looking $5,400 a month for the acre of land, the big, relatively nice home, garage, 2 brand new vehicles. It's just kind of hard to wrap your head around. It's a lot of money for a large majority of Americans. So yeah, anyway, let's move on. Economic and housing trends. Median household income. It was $17,710 in 1980. Adjusted for inflation, $69,000. Now it's $67,000. So, I mean, it's been flat for 45 years. I don't think that's the way it should work. The stock market hasn't been flat. It's outpaced inflation. So anyway, that's a little outside of my knowledge. I haven't done enough research to speak on it. But the cost of living index has 4x'd. $1 in 1980 is now $3.90. So everything costs more. Granted, that doesn't show like whether um, incomes have kept up with it or not. That's the question, right? That's what we're asking here. Um, but again, this is surface level stuff. We'll have to go deeper in a different video. I just don't have time, and I haven't done enough research. Um, let's look at something. Now this is I'm about to skip one. Median home prices, 47,200 in 1980. Now, or excuse me, adjusted for inflation, that's $184,000. Now we're looking at $426,000. That's big, man. I mean, think about it. We adjusted for inflation, and we're still over double. So, the cost of home ownership, that one hits hard. I think it's good to see that because you keep hearing all this stuff about what people in the past were able to do on one income at the factory, and I just don't think it's real anymore. It doesn't seem to be real anymore. I'm a millennial, 34. You know, um, and it just seems completely off. So I think the people, especially the older generations, they're kind of living in a bubble. Need to wake up a little bit, and at least come to the table and have a conversation. I mean, because this just leads into a whole spiral of the debt of the country and what we're facing. Let's look at the home ownership rate, right? Okay, 1980, 65.4%. 2025, 65%. It's stable, but young people aren't buying houses, right? Look at this next one. As soon as I learn how to screen share, maybe we'll do a split screen, okay? This next one, it's kind of nuts. This was, this paints a picture for you. The numbers don't lie. The median age of a first-time home buyer, 1980, 28. Okay. I was able to buy my first home at 28. It was a shack. Okay. But now, 1980, 28. Now, 2025, it's 38 years old. That's the median age of a first-time home buyer. That, what is there even to say? It's taken people an extra decade to look at buying a house. Let's look at median monthly rent. This kind of plays right into this whole conversation. Okay, it was $243 in 1980, $243. Adjusted for inflation, $950. Okay, now it's $1,400 to $1,600. It's insane. I was just looking at the apartment that I rented. When I first moved to this area, I don't really exactly want to say where I live yet, but I'm sure you can find it somewhere. But anyway, I rented it for $1,000, single, one bedroom, nothing special. I looked the other night just out of curiosity. It's $1,800 now. That's in 6 years. So, yeah, pretty crazy. I mean, to think that $1,400, $1,600 is a lot of money for a lot of people, for most people. And then, you haven't even factored in groceries, car, you know the drill. All right, renter's cost burden. This is a good one. This is a good one as well. And I think this one tells one of the more important stories of all this information gathered here. The renter's cost burden. Okay. It was 24% in 1980. So the cost burden relative to their income, 24%. Now, it's 49%. There are so many people giving half of their income directly to rent, okay? And they haven't bought anything else. Nothing. Food, etc. This is another interesting one, though. It's directly related. I should have ordered this a little better, probably. But renters make up 34.6% in 1980, 35% in 2025. So you haven't seen the rates of homeownership and renters change, but what you've seen is the youth that have been stuck in the renting spiral. And I think I'll go deeper into that in a different video. If I even have anybody watch this video, I really want to hear from people. Like, what do you think? What do you want to see? What do you want to talk about? I just want this to be a discussion about where society goes from here. The final thing I really wanted to touch on was education and employment. So this is an interesting one. I don't know that it tells us a lot. It actually told me less than I previously thought. But we'll at least give it give it a go. The average cost of tuition in 1980. I'm just going to go straight to adjusted for inflation. I think I've wasted time by I don't know. You tell me. Average price of tuition 1980. This is annual. Was 72.30. Okay. In 2025, average cost public school tuition. I should have noted that's public school tuition. 9,400. So it's only went up 2,000. Roughly $2,000. I'm not doing math on camera. You're not going to make me. So here's something. Full costs, okay, for a year. Used to be 9,100 in 1980. Again, I've adjusted for inflation. That's everything. Room, fees, all that good stuff, right? 9,100 a year. Now it is over $20,000 a year. And I'm pretty sure that doesn't even include food yet. I mean, that's nuts, man. You know? And I think it's real because even going back to, let's go back 10 years ago when I graduated, I went to a tech school for the first 2 years, saved a lot of money, right? I think everyone should do it, honestly. I mean, I know the 4-year school experience is cool and all and glamorized, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just don't think it's worth it. But I probably spent close to $40,000 for those final 2.5 years to get my bachelor's degree. Has it worked out for me? Sure, I think so. Has it worked out for many? I don't know. I mean, that's what I want to find out. But median. Now, here's another one that kind of really shocked me. The median income for a high school graduate, 1980. Was inflation adjusted, $49,000. Median income, no college, 48,000 now. So it's been flat. Now here's what got really interesting, because I've seen everyone saying like college isn't worth it, and I've generally agreed, especially with the I don't want to go too heavy into it, but the indoctrination that I feel has occurred and the viewpoints that are pushed by many of these colleges. But hear this: median income, bachelor's degree, 1980, 59,900. Okay. Median income, bachelor's degree, 2025, 91,000. So we have college degree graduates on paper earning almost double what a non-college grad, high school grad earns, and it's went up dramatically compared to if you got no college. It's been flat. It was 49,000. Now it's 48,000. All right. You have a bachelor's degree. It's 59.9. Now it's 91. That's something I want to dive into. I really want some thoughts on that. What drives that? Is it just that some of the highest earners are, college grads? Because you have so many college graduates now that are not getting out and finding good jobs. They're coming out with $80,000 in debt, and you see them working at the coffee shop. Nothing wrong with working at a coffee shop at all, but it's just worth noting. I don't know. Again, and the interesting numbers here just keep going because the numbers aren't really supporting as much as I don't like what I've seen on college campuses about pushing political ideas. Colleges should be a place of debate, and I don't know that they still are that. So anyway, unemployment for a high school grad, 7.5% in 1980. High school grad unemployment is now 4.5%. So that's great, right? At least we get some positive news out of this data. Maybe society won't fall apart yet. I don't know. Unemployment for a bachelor's degree was 3.2% in 1980 and 2.3% now, 2025. Kind of, yeah. I mean, that's great, right? But yeah, I just want to dive deeper into this. I keep saying it over and over. I should have before the video, maybe. Anyway, now this one is interesting, and maybe it paints a bit more the picture that I was trying to get at, that we've seen so much in the media and I've been going on and on about, right? Is that unemployment in recent college graduates, like you just got out of college. This is a cool stat. I didn't really notice this one until we got to this point. Um, in 1980, recent college grads, only 3% were unemployed. Now, today, recent college grads, 5.8 to 6.1% unemployment. That is more than high school graduates currently. So that's again interesting. Good to see. Um, so yeah, I, uh, I don't know what to make of all this. I've just threw a bunch of numbers out, and I don't know that I have much of a conclusion other than the fact that houses cost a shit ton, you know, and that is real. You know, when you hear someone saying that the newest generation just doesn't want to work, I don't think that's it. I really don't. There may be some of that, right? Of course, there's always some of that. But when we see that, you know, the average renter is possibly paying 49%, I mean, that's the median. 49% of their income towards rent. You can't escape it. You know, you're just stuck in that renter's economy. And you're never able to save money. You're never able to get out of it. You're never able to buy a house. I just think that this points to things getting worse. We bounce back to the birth rate. I think that's terrifying as well. You know, figures like Elon Musk, of course, you've heard talk about it, but, you know, I think there needs to be deeper dives into what all this means. What does this mean for our society? Can this be something that can be reversed? Anyway, I've talked enough. Anybody that listened and watched, I really appreciate it. And maybe I can improve the setup a little bit and keep going. Have a great day.